Hello everybody, this is System Chalk with, I believe, the 20th entry in our Apostle Obsonate run of Cultist Simulator. Thank you for sticking with me this long, and I've been very heartened by the number of people who've been kind of reinvigorating this little series, so thank you for that. If you are not already and you'd like to be informed about the updates, you can subscribe down below, and if you'd like the notifications, you can hit the little bell beside it. I really do appreciate all the support that you've been giving me. So, it has been a little while since I recorded the last episode. I do tend to do them in groups, so let's take a look at what's going on on the table. So we're going to have the Savorous Blood expire within the next few minutes. We have a Season of Sickness coming up. That's going to make life interesting. But we do not have a delivery as of yet. So that's going to be a problem. We've got a distraction. Too many strangers have heard this follower's name already. If the distraction fails, we can keep trying. If it succeeds, it will generate notoriety. So I believe we can send Moth and Grail to try and deal with this. This is the long, so we've already got 2 people ready to go with that. And the biggest worry that I have right now with generating the notoriety is the fact that the weary detective is coming after me. So we've got 3 mystique, 1 notoriety right now. It'd be wonderful to use in painting, but in 10 seconds another one of those is going to get absorbed. And if we generate another notoriety, that can go from tentative evidence to damning evidence, and that will potentially be something that makes us lose a follower, and ultimately can lose us the run. So we're going to try and avoid that. Now, I do want to take a quick second and look at just my overall health. There is a side of me that says, well, we're working on the unskilled labor, so that'll help with our sickness. So there doesn't seem to be much reason for me to avoid reading the book. I think the study verb, we can use the study verb for that. And this is actually a favorite of mine. So, Lord Franklin Bancroft Diaries, 1750 to 1790. The notorious journal of a notorious gentleman, written in Latin, no doubt for the sake of safety. So let's start by... Oh, do I even have Latin? I know I've been neglecting my studies. No, I know Greek. I've tried to study. I have a book for learning Greek. That is very challenging. Okay, so I think we need to go back to Moorlands if we're going to do that. I'm not quite ready to go to Moorlands yet because I would like to do some more expeditions. So, in the absence of anything better to do, let's get some fresh air and exercise. Now, I could buy instruction from one of the one of my mentors, but that will require some time on my part, and I would prefer to be generating money. So our reputation is no worse, but our enemy will focus their attention more intently on us now. You know what? I sent off a bug report recently. I think this might be a slight error as well. It just seems to be a phrasing that's a little bit different from what's intended. Okay, so they've got more connections. This is actually a bit of a worry. So over time, the Long will build up their network in the city, improving their ability to intrigue against us. If it ever reaches 10, the Long will consider attacking you directly. And so it used to be a little bit spread out. Now it does look like they're heading straight down the path, and the Long will eventually reveal themselves. I have a feeling I know who the Long is, but let's keep it to ourselves. There are, I believe, 4. Oh yes, actually, we're already adding to our library, so just as well I'm not going to Moorlands. Okay, well, that doesn't help me at all. Kunner und Goose Ausfrilich Grammatik der griechischen Sprache. I'm sorry to all of the Germans out there. This is a real book, but I'm not familiar with... I've not read it, and I'm definitely not familiar with the... less challenging language, but still ferocious. Alright, well, I do need money, so let's go to Oriflamme's and sell off the copy of Kerner and Gut. We perch on alarming Rietveld chairs in a windowless auction room with vividly burnt orange walls, waiting for the auctioneer to announce what he's offering. The reek of the new paint makes the brain spin. This oddity is probably worth something, but it's hard to be sure. I was excited for a minute there when I saw it was a language book. Okay, so we're picking up an acquaintance. That's some passion that'll be down for a little bit, but nothing we can't handle. And in 4-ish seconds, it's thinking hard, we will head back to Glover and Glover. They say I can do the job of any two others together. It's not true. Not quite. So, it is worth mentioning the manual labor is not actually something I would necessarily want to do. Manual labor is no more desirable in Cultist Simulator than it is in day-to-day life. But the big advantage of it right now is that it's short. And so, you know, I've been running around a little bit without... I've been running around without having any... without that much money. You know, I might want to go to St. Agnes Hospital, except for the fact that I've got 2 notoriety, which obviously will be picked up at some point. Ooh. I have an idea. This may not work out. I'm still going to need to wait on Glover and Glover, but I think I have an idea about how I can defang that notoriety. I'll talk about that in a minute. Some of the struggles that I've had with money are a direct consequence of my decision not to advance within Glover and Glover, and the big reason for this is that I do want to keep myself open for other opportunities. Once you go to a higher level in Glover and Glover, you've got Mr. Alden to deal with, and so he's going to give you some extended time. So on a per visit basis, the higher level of Glover and Glover isn't always the best return. Now, sometimes that doesn't matter, because obviously I'm not sitting on this giant pile of money like I normally do, and I may want to reconsider that at some point. But at the moment, excuse me, I've been doing it just so that I can kind of establish myself. And I think once I kind of get the ball rolling as far as my ability to sort of do rituals, it's going to become a little bit more valuable not to have to keep going back to G&G. And to be able to make some money with painting. But obviously I'm not at that point. Right now I need to build up my network, build up my followers and such. And at the moment, if I have to go to work, you know, I need to choose to give up my time, or I need to choose to do things that aren't as financially rewarding. A little bit like life. So, all right, so Moreland's shop, the dim premises of Miss Moreland, who deals in rare and sometimes dangerous books. This is a little bit more of a priority now because of the fact that we do need some Latin. And the way that I'm potentially going to deal with this notoriety is I do need to wait for the job to finish, so we'll have at least 1 tick of the weary detective. But what I can try and do is paint with the notoriety afterwards. And essentially, if I feed it this notoriety, then by the time the next season of Suspicion comes by, this one will have been, this one will sort of be sacrificed, I guess. It'll have decayed. Now we do have a season of Visions coming up, so as much as I'd like to go to the Painted River, I'm going to head to the Ascent of Knives just in case. Alright, we missed out on a Forbidden Epic for that. But we do have an urgency of appetite. It is difficult to control oneself. The Ascent of Knives is called the Sharp Stair and the Mother of Mirrors, and the Feast of the Grail. If one is to look beneath the stair, as I did last night in my dreams, one understands that last name. It draws a tithe of blood from the feet of those who ascend. In Pausai, some shaped like men, many shaped like women, wait beneath the glass of the stairs to satisfy their hunger. I did not approach, I made no sound, I only observed. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think in Pausai might be in Aristophanes' The Frogs, which... if you like that sort of thing, obviously not everybody's going to want to read really old plays, but The Frogs is actually probably my favorite ancient, or at least ancient Greek comedy. I haven't read a lot of them, but it has if you guys want a sales pitch for why you should maybe consider reading The Frogs, it has, I'll say, the ancient Greek equivalent to a rap battle between Euripides and Aeschylus. Queens of the Rivers, a surreal contemporary play by the enigmatic Monica Medina, in which the queens of the rivers are murdered one by one. You can get a little bit of an indication of my pessimism by the fact that I went and got another health at at the study verb. And this is a little dangerous here, but I'm going to use the funds. I'm going to buy another at Morelands because I know I'm going to get money for the... And I'm going to get money for the... for the job. I wouldn't necessarily have known that I'd be getting more money at the job at the time that I do if we had Alden kicking around. So it's not. I'm not going to argue that it's the best option. I am going to say though that it's one that gives me the peace of mind I'm looking for. The illness has damaged my health. I'll need to rest before I'm fully recovered. So this is the first affliction we'll deal with. All I need now is time. This is why I didn't go back to the dream verb. And the clerks file out in silence. I'm free for now. So I don't need to worry about this notoriety so much. I am, however, going to paint again. Actually, I'm going to take the risky step of preserving this notoriety. And what do I want for inspiration? I didn't even think about that. Let's think about my health. Time, the sundial's shadow passes. I must have funds to live or I will become ill. Alright, Saliba's back. And we have The Locksmith's Dream, A Light Through the Keyhole, the first volume of Teresa Gallmer's examination into the parallels, of the parallels in the Mystic Dreams of Artisans. Now, if I recall correctly, all the rituals have been hidden behind Expedition, so I'm not actually going to be able to take advantage of a lot of this lore until I sorry, just 1 minute. I'm not going to be able to take advantage of the real advantage to this lore until I actually start getting the appropriate books. But for now, explore the city with health followers, explore locations. Let's do our Forgotten Chronicle. Little wars, great intrigues, cryptic priesthoods, mystic crimes, all past now, but what traces did they leave? I could spend money on better pigments, or perhaps I could... on better paints, or perhaps I could find more exotic pigments, which we have, but I'm not quite ready to use yet. We don't know what the Long is up to yet. I've neglected my studies, but I stand a little straighter. So we may still need some more vitality when it comes time to sort of reckon with the illness. But for the time being, there's a couple of things that I'm going to do. So this vitality is good for 178 seconds. This sickness will be kicking around for long enough. And we'll get the vial of blood almost immediately. So when the 23 seconds is done, I'm actually going to deal with the forlorn blood first. I have a disease, my blood is wrong, my bones are sick. I'll die, but perhaps I can preserve myself long enough with the holy blood of our delight. Let's read The Queens and the Rivers. The Queen of the Vistula is poisoned, the Queen of the Dnieper chokes on a fishhook, the Queen of the Tagus is burnt alive. And again, I'm not from Europe, so I apologize for not knowing the proper pronunciation for these. Honestly, I'm only going through the motions. The quality of my work will no doubt suffer. Worthless, I produce nothing of use or any significance at all. I should be ashamed of myself. Still, if I have a reputation, it might sell. Okay. The right one got... This is the risk, of course, is that all the notoriety comes at once. So... my recent work is considered notable. I've exhibited the latest paintings. Surely someone will buy something. So I got a bit lucky there. So this notoriety will go away in 8 seconds, as hoped for. Oddly enough, my reputation has not suffered for it, and we're doing okay funds-wise. That turned out. The scratching of pens, the sourness of dust, the sighing of the younger Glover, and the greedy gurgling of the elder. Okay, so I'm going to start thinking about a new expedition with that little bit of success. I am, however, going to deal with the evidence first, assuming that the evidence gets built. Obviously, it's not a guarantee each time. Alright. I shrink and grow pale. Fatigue chokes my throat. I must ensure that my death serves a purpose. So, we'll go for the one that's closer to expiring. This sort of messed around with my timings a little bit. All I need now is time. So the fact that I had 2 on the table made me a little worried. Mirrors are calm, the sun is steady, the glory recedes. I'm sane if that means anything. No fascination drives your visions. It's over for now. Our immortal enemy is preparing another action, but we still don't know what it is. Our enemy is a Winterlong, identified by the initials JC. His motives are obscure, and he has always professed alignment with the Obliviates as their successors, who have no truck with the wars of the hours. But here he is to spoil our day. So I had a feeling it might be this guy. So I think I indicated this before, but I think in an earlier video I said that I might be running into something I've never seen before, and JC is along who I've never encountered before. So my other videos on the channel are obviously me doing live streams. And often I'm quite familiar with a lot of things that have been happening in the game lately because I've been playing since the beta. And normally only the live videos are the ones where I get to see new things, but I am very pleased. This was not designed this way, but I'm actually very pleased that for those of you who will be sticking through to the end, you'll get to see me confront new challenges that I haven't seen before. Okay. I still don't have any more locations on the continents. I am going to have to head back to the Mansis to be able to get more secret histories with those. But what can I do with my explore verb in the meantime that is useful? As tempting as it is to go to Moorlands, I know I want to keep my funds for expeditions. And you know, I'm going to leave it alone for now. The shape of the long strategy is coming clear. JC, no more names. That's it. I'm sorry, I don't have time to make conversation. Julian will more frequently use downtime to increase his abilities. Now, this is a fun one for you guys in chat. Can anybody think of where this name has come up before? Because it definitely has. The culprit, it transpires, is the audience. The surviving queens are directed to execute whatever audience members do not escape. A surprisingly lucid epilogue suggests that the correspondence of river names with historical events does provide clues to secret histories behind our own. So we have an occult scrap for it, which maybe isn't the sort of thing I want to go, you know, I'm not going to do backflips over, but it's nice to have. And now we'll read Teresa Gallagher's first volume. The parallels in mystic dreams experienced by carpenters, masons, and other artisans, and what they purport to reveal about the architecture of the world. Sometimes mordant, sometimes funny, no one has ever explained why Gallimard devoted herself to this chaotic exploration of artisans' dreams. And the courier has arrived from our delight with a single vial of their most holy blood. So I should take a minute to decide what I want to do with my, work verb next. So we've got Cat Caro. This is another welcome lantern follower. There's our Mystique, Furtive Truth. Let's keep I'm probably going to send someone to deal with evidence, actually. If a hunter has found notoriety, they will try to use it to create or upgrade evidence. If they're meticulous, they'll always succeed. If they're erratic, they're more likely to fail, but can occasionally create evidence even without notoriety. So I think I will leave the talk verb open just for the possibility that I'm going to send somebody off on a mission. And the clerks file out in silence. I am free for now. And you know what? I should feel a little wary of this. But I think I am going to do an expedition to St. Agnes Hospital right away. So they did good work here once. Certainly there were a few too many amputations, but then there are individuals one would prefer not to walk the city streets. And actually, we're at a decent time to finish the episode, so I'll tell you what, I'll do that on the next one. I know we didn't, I was hoping to get the expedition done before the end of this one, but we did see the discovery of the long, big reveal. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what Julian throws at me. It's weird to have to deal with somebody who's resting and preparing all the time. So we will see you all on what I believe it should be Friday. And thank you for watching.